to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and gabbing, maybe some microphone gabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric Page.
Oh,
Is that a big gulp? Is that a big gulp from 7-Eleven?
it's actually from Wendy's. It's actually from Wendy's. So
Did you get a Baconator? Did you get a Baconator with that?
No, I got a baked potato and a sweet tea. So that's what I have.
Oh, it's
What?
a baked potato. But it have anything in it?
Yeah, I mean like cheese and bacon and stuff. It's a.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure if you just went down to Wendy's and grabbed a baked potato.
No,
and just
actually, if I'm going to do a baked potato with nothing, I literally have that here in my house. But no, I haven't done there
it would have been a bit odd.
It would have been odd. You know what I should do? I should start a tradition of eating something odd at the beginning, like you, so people can see like we're all eating food. That would be kind of
I have honestly that reheated meal I had. It's just not hitting the same. You know, some meals when you reheat them, they just don't go well. I ate about half of it. I'm like, no, but I have a little snack pack of pretzels. They're back in action.
Oh,
So if you hear some crunching and munching, blame Ben.
Hey, Laura, welcome back to the Team Eric. I thought you were already a Team Eric member. Maybe you had to read.
She upgraded.
Oh, did she? It's not, why does it not show up on StreamYard? That's so weird. Okay, you're enhanced Team Eric member, which means you can vote now. You can vote. I'm doing a movie review next week for the end of the month. So if you are an enhanced Team Eric member, go to the community tab and go vote. Thank you so much for
giving you rights.
Yeah.
Taking them away and giving you back.
There we go. All right, guys. So as usual, welcome, as my song says, welcome to the after party. We have Ann Sarnoff's #1 fan over here, which looks to be Ben. I didn't know that Ben was her number one fan.
This is 80s porno Ben.
Oh, okay. All right.
With the dodgy attempted goatee, which looks like it's been drawn on with lead pencil, but
he regrets ever posting that photo to the internet now.
I do.
It's this, and potentially if I ever got the chance to see the X Factor audition tape.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay a lot of money.
He is so lucky. I don't think Ben, you realize how lucky you are that I was not online when you posted that.
Yeah.
I think Canada Graves might have seen it.
A few people have, and they've told me it was not a highlight of your life.
Yes, I have dyed my beard. I've got a bunch of cool stuff I'm going to try with it for the summer. So cool. I have some fun things. This is more of a blend, though. It's not a full dye, but I'm going to do like fire engine red or purple or pink or something. So
nice.
It'll be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some super chats here. Holy Machiavelli, 499 super chat. There should be able to be 2 Batwomen since there are 2 Batmen, but recently with Bruce and Jace Fox in Future State. I hope the writers do this. We're going to talk about Batwoman in a moment. We have like a lot of casting stuff to talk about, but we're going to try and get through everything as quickly as possible so we can talk about Flash and Superman and Lois. And we'll talk about that in a second, but thank you for the super chat. We had another one here from Geek Information. Hello, 499 super chat. What's up, guys? I'm here on behalf of for Sapien Scoops you need. Definitely not from him. So there we go. So all right, here we are. We've got some crazy news and some casting. We actually had a casting update just minutes before we went live, which I definitely want to talk about. But before we get into that, one more super chat. Naruto, Paige, are you reviewing Marvel Disney Plus still? Is that something?
I'm not reviewing Falcon and the Winter Soldier because it's just a show I want to watch and enjoy. But I will be reviewing Loki.
Okay.
Because Loki's a show that I would like to talk about.
Is it because Falcon isn't that good?
Oh
no, Falcon's a badass in the comics, and it looks like they're doing that on the show. They look like they're doing him differently on the show than they did in the. Because that was the biggest issue with him in the MCU is that he's awesome in the comics.
Yeah,
but
I think the show is going to get him to that level, though. I think the show is trying to make him.
Yeah, they're definitely moving up that way. I'm interested to see how they develop him and then potentially build that other Falcon up.
Here is some big news, guys. Pierce Brosnan been cast as Dr. Fate in Black Adam.
That is some like goat casting.
That is sick casting.
They got Helen Mirren for Shazam of all things, and then they get Pierce Brosnan for freaking Black Adam. Like that's and fun fact. My uncle on my mum's side looks like Pierce Brosnan, so I think I might just be calling him Dr. Fate from now on.
Maybe you could be Dr. Fate since you're.
I used to call him James Bond when I was younger. So
yeah,
now he's got a new name.
You should do some selfies. That way you can say you were with Pierce Brosnan and like flex a little bit because that would be, you could pull in a few extra likes by doing that. Maybe, Eric. I'm not going to make any promises because I'm not sure how good of an idea that sounds. But so look, Gary with the clutch super chat. You guys are so pretty. Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you. I brushed my hair today.
Thank you, Gary. So this casting, I'm just gonna. All we know is that he's been cast. So I think this is great, right? This is a really good casting.
Yeah, it's awesome, and
the
fact that this character is coming to live action is super exciting.
Smallville?
No, I'm talking about films. I'm not talking about Smallville.
Well, don't say live action then. Say the cinematic world.
Live action films. Whatever.
Yeah, get your terminology correct, Ben. It's 2021.
Okay, there. Multi-topic talk with a $5 super chat. I remember you guys were previously speaking about the different forces in the comics. Do you guys think we may get a villain for each force this season? So we will dive into this in the Flash section in just a moment, but my quick answer is I think we will see every force represented at some point during this graphic novel. That's what I believe. What about you guys? Do you think that's what's going to happen?
Yes, except the twerk force. I think we might be leaving that for the after party.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we got another casting to talk about, and this one was, I think this was earlier today, maybe.
This is another goat one.
It's the recasting of Barry's father. So the Flash movie cast Ron Livingston to replace Billy Crudup as Henry Allen.
The main reason it's awesome is because Office Space, but and also I don't know if that can you scroll up a bit?
Yeah.
That photo doesn't 100% tell it, but if you look at him head on, he legitimately looks like he could be Ezra Miller's dad.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, I can see that, but he doesn't. If they're going for, I know they're not going for it, but like he doesn't look like Billy Crudup at all. So
yeah, but I think they were just going for same but different.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed here, and I didn't realize this before, and I don't know why. It says that the Flash is proceeding. We obviously knew that Andy Muschietti was directing, but the script is from Christina Hodson, who wrote Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
That concerns me a little bit.
Well, apparently she wrote the general outline, but it's Warner Brothers has their own script people. So even the guy that wrote Black Adam, I don't know if The Rock should have shown it, but on his Instagram, he showed the front page of the script, and the second page had like a quote from him. And it shows who did the rewrites. Mm-hmm. I think usually they don't show that, but they showed the Warner Brothers people that did some of the rewrites. So,
and the only reason I say this is because Birds of Prey, if you think of it as its own little separate thing, like even though it's connected, just think of it as its own contained story. It's not as bad. Like if you think of it like this is Harley's reliable narration of what happened. That's the only way I can really digest that film. But I don't know if that style would work for a movie like this, which is what I'm a little bit concerned about. So I hope that they actually, that they work on that a little bit.
They hired her to do like a bunch of projects. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Christina Hodson. Is that the actual article?
Yeah.
From Variety?
I closed it already. I don't remember which one.
Oh, okay. No, because I couldn't see the other card. They announced like 4 or 5 different castings for the Flash movie, but they just put that guy, the Ron Livingston.
Oh, let me see. I'll check now. Hold on.
I'm pretty sure they cast Golden Glider.
And also, no offense, Eric, but I really like Birds of Prey, so I'm excited.
No, it's fine. I don't dislike the movie. I know a lot of people hate it. I don't think it connects well with the rest of the universe. That's my only real issue with it.
Yeah, but I feel like it fits into their separate films like Aquaman, then the Wonder Woman films and like all these different
Oh,
ones.
it feels a bit Suicide Squad-esque. Like they went the aesthetic of Suicide Squad.
But it's so
at
much
least in regards to
So it
how
says
they
here
wanted to do it.
that it's got Sasha Calle as Supergirl, Ben Affleck.
Oh no,
as
this
Michael
isn't.
Batman. So
Is this?
there
from
is one.
Recasting? Is this from, oh my god, Eric! What have we said about Screen
Well, it says
Rant?
Source Variety. They usually pull everything over.
Yeah,
from Variety.
but I don't think they read the article. I think they just got the.
Okay.
I think they read the headline, wrote their own article.
Okay. Well, this Ben. Any thoughts on that, Ben? Any thoughts on that at all?
Well, it's Screen
No
Rant.
comment.
Like, are we surprised?
Lone Wolf with a $5 super chat. It's going to be really busy next week. Flash, Supergirl comes back. Black Lightning, Batwoman, Falcon, Winter Soldier. No, Superman and Lois is not on next week. That's the thing. We'll talk about that when we get to Superman and Lois. But yes, it's going to be a busy week. Each week has been busy. Like honestly, I knew it was going to be crazy, but it's actually been crazier than I thought it was.
Wednesdays, I'm insane.
Yeah,
I'm making like
wild.
3 videos in the span of like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is that a horse impression then?
Yeah.
So, Paigey from Gary here. Can we get your dog on the Flash?
Well, if you want to pay would it be like a shipping? I don't know how-
Shipping fee.
Getting the
Is
dog
it?
over there.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be
Yeah,
cheap.
dog fly.
All right. The next thing, we've got so many recasting things to talk about here. Let's talk our casting and recasting. The big one is, and I talked about this in my video this week, and you guys, I know you don't review Batwoman, but I actually included this in my Batwoman review. After we get, and this is going to be spoiler territory for Batwoman, so anybody that doesn't want to be spoiled, stay away from this here for a second. We find out at the end of this week's Batwoman that they found Kate Kane's body parts. They checked the DNA and it's definitely Kate Kane. And then we see at the end of the episode a bandaged woman who we're assuming is Kate Kane. And then we find out that they've recast Kate Kane as Wallace Day, who most people would know from Krypton. And she's going to have a story for the rest of the season. So that means we're going to have Ryan Wilder, Alice, and Kate Kane with making room for, the stuff that's going on with Mary and Luke, the stuff between Sophie and Jacob. I mean, I'm not mad about the casting. I think Wallace Day is going to do a great job as Kate Kane. I mean, I think she's going to kill the role. But why not just recast her from the beginning of the season? Like, why wait till now? Because now the show is extremely confusing. It's extremely messy for me. And I want more of Ryan Wilder. I love that direction. But if you were gonna bring her back, why not just do it from the beginning? I'm so confused about this. What are your thoughts on this? Because the showrunner Carolyn Dries said that she didn't want the beginning of the season to be messy by recasting. But I'll be honest with you. If they would have just done like a plane crash, showed her in bandages in the hospital, and by the end of the episode, she takes the bandages off and it's a new actress, I think that would have been absolutely fine. And then you could have just continued the storylines that you were going to do in season 2. This makes it way more complicated to me. That's just my opinion.
I completely agree. I'm now seeing this. I am very far behind on Batwoman, like 5 episodes behind or something. But I know what happened at the end of last week. They find her body or something.
No, it just sort of zooms in, goes through like a crate thing, but no one finds her.
Okay.
We just, as the audience, know that she's there with her face is messed up.
Anyway, so we're given that information, and then now they go ahead and recast her. Like, I agree with you, Eric. They should have just recast her at the start of the season. And also, now that she is back, well, the character is back, how is this going to impact Ryan? Is she going to get a lot of screens? I know she's recurring. She's not a regular. But, is she going to take away from Ryan's story?
According to the showrunner, she says that they're going to continue to tell Ryan's story and that this story is going to run concurrently with the story that we have with Ryan. So for a big period of time, I don't think that Kate's even going to be connected with the rest of the team, which is going to be even worse because that means that's why I'm worried, because that means we're going to have to make room for like all of these stories happening at the same time. And I just feel like it's overly messy. Now, I know some people really love what's going on with Batwoman right now. I'm not going to tell anybody what they can and can't like. My issue with Batwoman has to do a lot with the pacing and the storytelling. I love the cast. I think everybody that's on the show right now is extremely talented. I want more of Ryan Wilder. I want less of Alice. But Alice is a fan favorite. Rachel does a really good job in that role. But I feel like she's in a similar place to like some of the characters we've had on the Arrowverse shows where they're keeping her there because she is a fan favorite, not because they necessarily need her to be on the show. But they know if they removed her, it would be an issue. So that's why they're keeping her around. I think if they would have wrapped up Kate's story this week and they would have said, we found her body parts, that's the DNA, then they have a funeral episode or whatever, and then we move on with the rest of the season without being tied to Kate Kane, to me, that is a better direction for the show. Bringing Kate Kane back into the picture when you've got like over half the season left, and she's going to be part of the show all the way till the end of the season, I'm a little bit confused on I don't know what they're thinking with this. Does that make any sense? Like, Paige, what are your feelings on this?
Like, I was saying it as well, like, before the season even started, like, it seems doing the whole just new character introduction was going to be extremely messy. And the less messy option was just straight up just recasting Kate and just not even doing like some freak accident. Oh, her head gets chopped off and she gets a replacement one, or
right.
Acid attack.
You live in a world with like metahumans and weird like stuff going on. Like you could easily, I almost got demonetized there. You could easily come up with a reason why she doesn't look the same.
Yeah,
it would have been very.
Well, not even that. Just not even. Just do it. It was public enough that Ruby Rose left. Everyone watching the show knew that she wasn't going to be there next season.
Right.
So, what is it? Like, it doesn't really matter. It's like if they recasted Ralph. We know why. Doesn't have to be some like crazy reason as to why he looks different or anything like that. Unless he's like changes race or something like that, of course. If all of a sudden we have Asian Ralph, then okay, well, what's happened there?
Yeah.
So they should just done that. It would have been the easiest option. Now they're in this mess where it's not even that they've now introduced a new character; they've introduced a person of color character. So imagine the controversy of like Wallace Day's. I was going to say Wallace Day's Ruby Rose. Wallace Day's Kate Kane is extremely popular.
I know.
He's more popular than Ryan Wilder.
Trust me, I've thought about it.
And then they're stuck in this position. Well, keeping her around is probably the more like keeping Wallace Day's Kate Kane is the more logical thing to keep the show going. Right. And then all of a sudden you got a drama around that entire situation. So I don't know. Someone was saying in the chat that she was doing a show before and she was probably their number one choice to do it, but she couldn't have started right at the beginning of season 2, which if that's the case, then do 2 episodes without Kate.
Don't introduce a new Batwoman then.
Don't do it. Yeah. Focus on it. Or if you're going to do that, then do a plane crash. And in those 2 episodes, are you finding her? And you can even do it where there's catch up, like what they're doing with Melissa Benoist, where they film everyone else's scenes and then she just plays catch up with those and fills in the gaps.
Yeah.
Or Melissa Benoist is going to be in every episode, but she didn't start filming till what, episode 8 or 9, wherever they were.
Exactly.
8,
yeah. I mean, the other option for me, I thought like, okay, so they wanted to have a Batwoman on the show until Kate Kane came back. Have Julia Pennyworth wear the suit for a few episodes. Just make her go around masquerading as Batwoman, placeholding for Batwoman to come back. Why bother introducing a new character with a totally disconnected backstory and piece it together the way they have, only to take screen time away from her to reintroduce Kate Kane 6 or 7 episodes later?
Yeah. It just doesn't seem like they have a plan at all. They're like, oh, so Ruby's gone. Now let's introduce a new Batwoman. Then they're like, oh, wait, but we should have done this. And then they've recast her. And now you got these 2 different people.
It's absolutely more confusing this way than it would have been just to make her Batwoman from the beginning.
They've literally gone down the most confusing route possible.
Yeah, like why bring her back? Like,
but you know what's funny is I can't find the article. I was actually looking for it before we got started today. I think I remember them saying before the season even started that they didn't want to recast Kate Kane. I think that was one of the things they didn't want to do.
They did. Yeah.
So you do it anyway. So you literally go against what you said and you say, oh, well, this was all. And Caroline Dries said this was always the plan. So if it's always the plan, did you just lie to us at the beginning? I'm totally confused.
I think they were
go ahead.
Didn't know. I just think they didn't know. And then they're like promising all these different things. Then they see the response. Maybe they're like, oh, no, shit. We should have brought back Kate Kane, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Naruto with a $5 super chat. If they wanted to recast, casting Ryan Lauder was moot. It's pointless. Well, I feel like that's the problem. Is it's going to feel completely tone deaf by bringing Kate back, especially as a regular every single week. Lone Wolf $2 super chat. My only interest is Alice and Alice is my only interest in Batwoman. But that's the thing, is I think that's why they're keeping her around. There's a lot of people that love that character, and I get it. It just I'm not really into her story right now.
I didn't like her.
You didn't? Okay. Well, so I know some people do. Let's see. Geek Information 49 super chat. When Kate shows up, they said it will rattle Ryan's confidence. That sounds really like that's going to be so much fun, because Ryan is already like just now coming into being Batwoman. Let's go ahead and just throw a wrench in those gears by bringing Kate back, knowing that everyone seems to love Kate and they dedicated so much of the first season to Kate. When is Ryan going to get her chance to be the main character? That's what I'm waiting for.
The thing is, if they need to clean up the show, otherwise I don't think it will get past season 3. Like if the studio looks at it and goes, well, I don't even know if you guys know what you're doing. Like it could be getting, it might be meeting the ratings quota and just that general, like, you know, the financial quota and everything, but it's confusing. It's confusing. Yeah. I don't know. I do wonder if there was any sort of like legality thing where they weren't too sure if they're actually going to be able to recast Kate or something that quickly.
Isn't it weird that Ruby said in that article she was willing to come back, and then the next week they're like, "Oh, we recast Kate." Yeah. So weird, the timing on that.
And then they remove her, and So wait, I got a question for you, Eric.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think the best way to go about sorting out all of this stuff is by the end of season 2, do they just kill off Wallace Days Ruby Rose? Like,
well, the thing is that they said so are they going to lie again? Because they said they didn't want to kill off Kate Kane. So when she came back and said that she was dead in the last episode, I thought, okay, so they decided to do that, right? They decided to go ahead and kill her off. And I actually felt like we had spent enough time looking for her and making a point of it that it felt like the ending of the story. Like I felt very, I won't say I was happy that was the result, but I'll say that I felt like we completed that story and that we had reached the end of that narrative. And then only to wind back around to this, it's like, are we going to kill her off again later? Because you've already done it once, technically. Yeah. So I don't think there's any easy way out of this, honestly. I feel like this is the most, they said, what is the absolute most complicated stuff we can do, and just do all of it. Because there was a very easy way to handle this, and they just decided not to go that way. So, and typically that's not the way the CW does it. Typically they'll go with, you'll predict all these crazy things, and they'll go with the most simple thing. This time they did the complete opposite of that. Multi-topic talk, $5 super chat. They should use Arrow, Black Lightning writers for Batwoman next season. Any thoughts? Great cast behind the scene, not as good. I think the show needs a complete overhaul at the top end, not just the writing. I think the creative team needs some sort of, I don't know what the right way to handle it is, but something on the top end is not gelling for me. Now, I know some people like it, but for me, if you're asking me personally, I'm not really happy with where the show is right now, because I wanted to see a new Batwoman doing different stuff that resonated with a different community that actually showed something other than what we were having in season 1. And season 2 has felt like a complete rehash of season 1, and we have not focused on the main character at all. I feel like we've had a couple of bits here and there. The one episode that we got a backstory on her that actually mattered was when she was in the home with the old woman and she had been captured and all that. That was probably the most, like, the deepest backstory we've had from her. And we are 8 episodes in right now with a brand new Batwoman. I know more about Alice's story and stuff about Kate than I know about Ryan at this point. She's got a plant. And she has a troubled past. That's all we really know about her at this moment. It's not enough for me. I feel like it's a problem. And Javicia is loving the show, and I feel like this is I'm not happy about it.
A problem?
I think it's a bunch of problems. I think there's a bunch of issues. I think ultimately, yes, all the problems fall on the shoulders of the showrunner, because they're the ones that make the big decisions. Because if you go back and look at The Flash, no matter what it was, whether it's a writer, a director, VFX, whatever it may be, Todd Helbing was basically the creative force behind the seasons that he was doing. And so you can't really hold all the individual people responsible without holding him responsible, because he does have control over that kind of stuff.
We only did one season.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm saying, do you agree that the weight always falls on the showrunner's shoulders when it comes to, like, creative decisions?
TV
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Once you get past season 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're in season 1, there's a lot of hands in the pot.
Yeah. Batwoman get arrow writers to fix it. Maybe. I don't think it's just a writing thing anymore, honestly.
All those people will be on different jobs. They're probably working on, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, something
Steven's new show or something. You know,
not even that. Like probably like Sex and the City reboot, whatever it is. Like probably something on that. Like,
since Batwoman is soap opera, Ryan and Kate will date. I really don't know if they're going to go that way. But
that's the biggest drama. Is I'm curious by when we get to the season 2 finale, what's going on,
right?
Because you can't have both of them on the show. One's got to go.
Well, see, Cody here saying he thinks they're setting them up as dual protagonists, but I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Are we going to kill Kate after bringing her back?
Well, if it's that you're not going to have 2 Batwomen. You can't have 2 people using the exact same mantle. So is one going to become the Robin to the other Batwoman? And imagine just the comic community when they hear that Kate Kane is now the Robin to a Batwoman.
Or an Oracle, like another character altogether. I mean...
Like that. The thing is, it's going to be interesting just to see what is the choice they make when they get to the end of season 2. Because the thing is, it's a big choice because I think it's depending on what's going on at the show at that very time, it could decide whether they go past season 3 or not.
Yeah, because
season 3 is already happening. They're going to. Well, actually, they can take it away, but they won't.
Gary, do you think Ryan will leave and Kate will stay? That would cause the biggest upset in the Arrowverse history if that were to happen. So. I don't think they would go that route. I'm not putting it past
the only thing I need to ask, because I'm not tapped into the Batwoman community. I haven't done a video since episode 3 or something, and I'm watching the episodes days later. I skipped episode 7 because I knew I didn't have to watch it. I could tell just from, I think I watched your review, Eric, and I was like, I didn't even have to watch it. So I watched episode 8, skipped episode 7.
Yeah.
Does Javicia as Ryan connect the same way as like Grant as the Flash, Melissa as Supergirl, Steven as Oliver Queen, even like Sarah and stuff like that? Like, is she a franchise lead? Like, do you think, like, honestly, everyone agrees with that?
Okay, so
or do you think it's still struggling because of the state of the show at the moment?
I'm going to throw this out there as like a comparison because I think it's a fair comparison. We talked last week about the Justice League movie, and my brother and Omega all talked about it on Sunday, and we talked about how is Justice League getting a lot of hype because it's so much better than the one we already had, like because the original film, the theatrical version was bad. And I think there is a little bit of truth to that. I think that does play into it. I don't think it's the total culmination of what it is, but I do think that there is a little bit of that. So when looking at Javicia as Batwoman versus Ruby Rose as Batwoman, I think Javicia is a far better Batwoman. I do believe she is. I think as Ryan Wilder, she is better.
Yeah.
I don't think we know enough about her as Ryan Wilder to make the connection that we have with, like, Barry Allen or Oliver Queen or Cara Danvers, because we just have not had that time with her, because she's always going to be compared to like what Ruby did with the character. And I feel like that's a weird, like, I don't know the answer to your question, Paige, because I feel like no matter in my mind how I try to say, oh, well, for me, she's so much better. Is she so much better, or is she just better than what we had? And that's kind of the problem that I have with it. Because I like Ryan as Batwoman, but would I have liked Ryan as Batwoman had, Kate Kane never been a thing? So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. And that's a good question. So
yeah, I think that's something you don't know until potentially the end of the season. Like, once they get past the fact that Kate's quote unquote dead and that she's alive. But then again, how much screen time is then eaten by Kate that's now alive and on the show consistently?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I've watched every episode outside of episode 7. I feel like I know nothing about Ryan except that her foster mum or adopted mother was killed by Alice.
And she's got a plant, and the plant
has a desert rose. Well, the plant has a desert rose. It was a desert rose plant the entire time.
Everything else about her, unfortunately, is very surface level, like Gotham citizen becoming Batwoman. That's really what it is. And unfortunately, that's not enough. I want more from that character. But as long as we have to split time with other, obviously, leads, I mean, Alice, in my opinion, Alice is the Lois Lane of Batwoman. She is the co-lead of the show. There's no doubt in my mind that Alice is being treated as a second lead on Batwoman. And if we have to split them into thirds then and give Kate another portion. We only have 43 minutes, 44 minutes to tell a story. Like, are we going to split up that time between three protagonist characters?
And do you want to spoil it for next week?
What's that?
Young Kate's in next week's episode, or this week's episode upcoming. So even when Kate's not even on screen, they
just always go back to her.
Yeah. All right, it's time to move on. We are going to talk The Flash now. Let's talk about this week's Flash. This is a spoiler warning. I see a super chat with a spoiler in it, so I want to give a spoiler warning before we start talking about it. Because this week's Flash was 7/4, and it was titled Central City Strong, which is about the efforts to rebuild Central City after what happened with the Mirror Monarch, as we know she's called now, Eva. And we have to deal with the return of some old classic characters from a couple seasons back. And Lone Wolf here with a $5 super chat. We're in spoiler territory. I wasn't expecting Kadabra to die. His backstory was good. So that's one of the big shockers right at the end when Barry basically talks Abracadabra down like they did with Eva, which I think was like, I didn't like the scene when I first saw it, but then the more I thought of it, I was like, that's a really good scene. It was a really, really good scene. I actually had to go back and watch it again before I did my review because I wasn't totally sure how I felt about it. But looking at it and realizing how it tied into the rest of the episode, I was very happy with it. But it is, and Paige, I mentioned this before we went live. Is it because you don't think the actor was going to come back? Do you think that's why they wrapped his story up this way? Because they're like, we're not going to get him back again on the show.
Like David Desmalchian's in like
Suicide Squad.
Well, he's in that, and then Dune, and then he's going to be in Ant-Man 3, and God knows what else after. Like, it'd be extremely hard and probably expensive to get him back for it. And I'm pretty sure he was given the briefing of this episode, and that's why he came back. I'm pretty sure he was given the story. This is what's going to happen. Blah blah blah. And he was like, "Okay, I will definitely do that then."
Yeah.
So we had that, and I got my notes over here. So, in terms of Abracadabra, because this was the first thing in my notes, actually, how did you guys feel about how they handled his story? Because we weren't sure what happened pre-crisis, but it looks like pretty much everything that we remember is what happened. Like, there wasn't very much change from that. And then post-crisis, obviously, he went on and had a better life. And then he says that a speedster made changes. And was he talking about crisis, or was he talking about something else completely different? Like, I was unsure if he meant crisis or if he meant a speedster changed the future, his past, but our future, that ended up killing off his family. Like, I wasn't totally sure.
They definitely inferred that it was crisis, right?
Well, no, I think he thought it was a speedster, and then Barry was like, "No, dude, it was crisis."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to make sure we understood that because I was a little bit confused. I'm like, are we insisting that there's another speedster at play here? Like, is Godspeed doing this? Is this Reverse Flash? Because I was a little bit confused by that, but that makes total sense to me. And so that's why he's coming back and doing all this, and he wants to destroy the city, and he's creating these monoliths, and he wants to put them together to create this antimatter orb bomb situation.
Did anyone realize it looked like COVID?
Yes, I did. I did realize that. So what did you think of his special effects? I actually like the way they made them look this time. They were slightly different from what we remember from the first episode we saw him in, and he had the wand and stuff. Any thoughts on that?
I like that he had the wand. I was like, thank God that's there. Yeah, like looked all good. Even like the big strength force humanoid thing. It didn't look amazing, but it didn't look bad. That's what we were going like, oh my God, it's ruined the episode. I'm like, dude,
it's like average CW, you know. It's like
you know in freaking movies they struggle to get that 10 out of 10. So I thought the show did an okay job for network TV as well.
Right.
So look, I'm not going to write home about it and go, oh, here we go.
Are you talking about the VFX at the end, or just through the entire episode?
No, for the strength force
for the lady.
So whatever. Speaking of that, do we think that's Alexa? Freza? I think is how you pronounce it. Force, basically Antigone. Force in Spanish. Yes. From the comics or whatever. Do we think that was her? Or do we think this is just some random person that's imbued with the powers?
I guess it's her. I'm gonna be honest. At first, I thought it was a male character, and I think I referred to the character in my review as a male. But
right,
that's my bad.
In the comics, Alexa doesn't always look like that. Like, she looks normal sometimes. Like, she doesn't have like a out of morph body.
It's when you don't control it.
Yeah. So the strength
when
force,
you control it, you just look normal. I think that's what they're going to do.
Right. So I think some people were asking about it. So I'm going to pop this up on the screen and we're going to briefly talk about this. What the strength force actually is. Now I'm going to blow this up just a little bit. Let's see. In short, the host essentially learns how to change and alternate aspects of themselves by increasing, decreasing gravimetric inception. This extends to making an avatar of anything they choose effect as infinitely heavier, tougher, denser, and or muscularly more robust. Using it on oneself can cause a sharp increase in size alongside muscular density in the chosen host, which therefore makes them bigger, stronger, and next to invulnerable. The only drawback is that when they apply their power to other bodily attributes such as feats of strength, they lose a bit of their physical imperviousness. So basically what that means is that while they're using the powers, they can't like have all of it at one time. Like one thing is always more dominant than the other when it comes to the strength force. Do you think the show is going to be this detailed, or is it literally going to be something much more simple to understand?
I'd assume it's probably just going to be something as simple as just strength and durability, which is usually just the basic things of the strength force.
Because this is a very detailed explanation of how it works, but it's in practicality, like how it's applied, it's much more easier to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in the show, like I'd be surprised if they went into anything too much. Like I think it's going to be like you gain the size if you lose control, because if you look at that person, it just looks like a monster. Well, no, it looks like, well, I guess it looks like a monster, but acting like a monster. So, like, I think the thing I'm curious about is whether that actually is the main person who's going to get it, because in the comics it sort of it fluctuates, but it seems that they're just doing it a bit different in general, because strength force like sort of comes up from the underground.
Now, I'm not giving them a pass on the design of this character, which I'm assuming is Alexa now. We'll just call her Alexa Agatone.
I'm going to call her
like a wrestler.
Yeah. Antigone. I think it's Antigone is how she pronounced the last name, Alexa Antigone.
I think it's Antigone.
Is it? Okay. However, I've only read it. I've never heard it said out loud.
He's always wrong. He was at Cicada.
I don't know. I never pronounce things right. I always apologize.
Say crumpet.
Crumpet.
Yeah.
You just said it the same.
We've clipped it. We've clipped it, everyone.
I'm just going to assume that it's her, right? So we're probably going to see her outside of that form. The hardest thing to do on these shows, and this is not me giving them a pass, because trust me, in my review, I said I didn't think it was the best or whatever, but doing a human form morphed without any like other aspects, like an animal, like a shark or a gorilla or whatever, it's really hard to do on a show like this. Like we've seen it in the 3D forms for like, Barry Allen and other characters. It's never going to look as great or polished as it does in a movie. It's just not going to be that, unless they get like some great company that knows how to do it or whatever. But overall, it's okay. It's not great. Now, was this the scene that we thought was going to be Savitar in the behind the scenes photos? Was that what
I thought it was Bloodwork.
Well, right? I know some people were saying Savitar. I know Bloodwork was one of the ones that were dropped out, but this was from that photo thing, right? Like the background photos that we saw.
Yeah. They used the Bloodwork on set model thingy.
Okay. Naruto, so you think Cronarch will be a season 8 big bad? I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
I hope not.
I think that character's tied so closely to Abracadabra's story, though. I don't know if
I'm pretty sure that's why they mention it. It's a reason, like, yeah, I really hope they don't. Like, there's, even though we're in season 7 going on season 8, like, there's still other Flash villains you can use that are actually Flash villain than that.
So Team 4 with the $5 super chat. I'm interested in seeing what they're going to be doing with Caitlin and Frost, whether it has to do with both Caitlin ends up being with powers of her own. So let's talk about that. We had the big reveal this week after a few headaches that Frost and Caitlin are now 2 completely separate characters. I feel like the writers just gave up trying to make this work. Like the idea of sometimes talking in each other's heads, sometimes she's in control, sometimes she's not, sometimes, this works this way, this works that. It just, the whole storyline was so completely, it was like spaghetti, basically. Yeah. So I think by splitting them up, we're not going to be dealing with that problem anymore. But what does this mean for them moving forward? Go ahead, Paige.
Well, I don't think that's the main. I think the reason they split them up is to set up the storyline going forward.
Okay.
With that character, because they released the episode 8 and 9 titles. Well, they didn't release them. I got them and posted online, so that's a bit of a flex.
Always flexing.
But episode 8 is called The People vs. Killer Frost. So are they saying Killer Frost is OJ?
Well, maybe. This is a good way to exonerate Caitlin, right?
Isn't that really Frost gloves fit? That's the question.
So do you think this is a way to exonerate Caitlin, to like absolve her of all the issues that happened with Frost? Because
they don't know that Caitlin's Frost.
No, but I mean like in her eyes, because I think Caitlin feels responsible for all the stuff that happened with Frost. Maybe this is a way for her to feel less responsible because now Frost is literally a separate person. Do you think that's going to make a difference or no?
Well,
I mean,
it'll be interesting because it'd be like a bit of a dog act just to let Frost to go to jail or be executed. Or
I feel like she's going to go to prison though. I think she is, right?
Oh, she will. I think she will.
Specifically done. I can't remember. Like on this.
She's been a part of so many things that have had people.
But she hasn't.
She was
like,
part of Savitar.
Anyone.
No, but she's an accomplice to it. That's the
she was
problem.
working for Amunet Black.
Yeah,
true.
She's probably killed people that we don't know about because it happened between seasons. So,
do you think that what they're doing? I don't know. The feeling I had after I saw that scene, I was like, are they gonna like say goodbye to Killer Frost and like?
I think this is goodbye to her.
She's gonna go find herself or something.
I thought that too. But based on what Paige just said, maybe she goes to jail. I don't think she's going to stick around for the rest of the season.
What if she goes?
No, but I mean, like at the end of the season, not right now. That's what I mean.
Wait, say what you're saying again, Ben.
No, I was just saying, do you think that Killer Frost, Frost, are they setting her up like by the end of the season that she's gonna go find herself and like disappear so it's just Caitlin?
Maybe, or they could just make it that she just goes to Iron Heights and she's just classified as like a villain. And then you get Caitlin, who just gets to be Caitlin, and you got Killer Frost, who's just a Killer Frost villain.
But can we talk about something for a second? Didn't Caitlin have this existential crisis when she couldn't access Killer Frost? How is this going to affect her mentally? Because they've always been a part of each other. So it would be very short-sighted for them to just ignore the fact that they were codependent for so long.
Well, I don't think they are going to ignore that. I think they're going to. Okay. I think they'll address that.
I hope so, because I think that's the story is deserving of that at the very least after everything we've been through with this. So,
also, have you guys ever felt like she was a proper villain? I haven't ever felt like it.
No,
the only
I don't.
time that I felt like it was the Earth 2 version of her. She was a proper villain, you know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Season 3, Killer Frost was pretty villainous until
True.
Was it when Cisco? Oh no, was it Cisco? I can't remember. When someone sort of like it was right until the finale, and then she decides to help.
Yeah,
and she realizes that Savitar's an asshole. So
right,
yeah. But since
she's a villain in season 3. But I think she was worse in season 3 than she was the Earth 2 version.
Do you think that she so Ben, with that being said, do you think she redeemed herself over the last few seasons then since
I don't know. I just I guess so. I just haven't. I know she's like worked for a minute and stuff, but like she hasn't felt like a villain, you know?
Right.
She feels like a conflicted person that is like feels like she should be Killer Frost because she knows about Killer Frost from another Earth, blah blah blah. Right. She has to live up to that.
So another thing I wanted to talk about was and we're going to answer another super chat, but I want to bring this up first. What did you think about the inclusion of the memory ring from Green Arrow and the Canaries? What did you guys think of that in the episode?
I never thought I was going to hear that show, all those characters mentioned ever again.
As soon as that came up, I was like, Pagey's going to be mad.
I wasn't mad. I was just like, I just had like a quizzical look on me. I was like, really? Really?
Yeah.
Like that's what you're doing?
Yeah.
But okay.
Is that the end though? Is that the wrap up for that show now? I think so. Maybe that was it.
Oh, I don't know. You never know what can come.
Did they think that it was still happening, so they included it? Reference?
I don't know. Maybe, possibly. Josh C with a 999 super chat. Thank you so much. So I didn't know that emotional lightning rods are a concept from the comics. Could this be related to Iris forging a Speed Force connection in 7-6? So people stop thinking it's just a cheesy line. So I want to clear this up. I don't have an issue with this being a thing, right? My issue is the way it's written for the show.
It's not given like a good enough context as well as just explanation around the lightning rod. Barry just says it once randomly.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of stuck. When in the comics, it has like a bit of a deeper connection, not only between Barry and Iris, but then Wally and Linda as well.
It's a larger thing. Like the TV show doesn't. The TV show is very like surface level of what it is, and that's why it comes off as cheesy. If they actually do a proper like story this season with it, maybe I'll be more into it. But then in this week's episode, we had some of the most cheesy love dialogue that we've had on The Flash in a really long time, and I really enjoyed this episode. but it's just some of the moments were really bad. And I'm like, can we stop with this? If you're not going to do anything more than write like greeting cards, happy birthday, I love you type stuff, then just don't do it at all, because it just comes off as very almost condescending in a way.
Eric only wants that in his Supergirl episodes. He doesn't want that in the Flash.
Only Supergirl. The only show
I actually didn't mind that stuff. Like,
Not
I
surprising.
acknowledge it, but I don't know. The biggest problem for me in this episode was, at the meetings, with the people, like the people who have been stuck in the Mirrorverse. I thought the last scene was great with Iris when she was talking. However, when that guy was talking, I did not feel any connection, because as far as I can remember, and it's been a long time since last season, who have we really seen inside the Mirrorverse? It's only been our main like three, that being Singh, Iris, and Camilla. So when he was speaking, I was like, and they set up this whole community support thing. I'm like, yeah, sure. Last episode, like in the finale, a bunch of people got taken over, but like, is it really this huge thing? And so I kind of didn't buy that Central City Strong thing completely, but I think it definitely built up to that great moment with Iris. So
I want to jump in, because we'll talk about Iris now, because I want to talk about her. But I think that was the point, though. I think the point of that was to get Iris to that moment, because without that, it wouldn't have felt genuine. So I didn't feel the connection to those people as well, but I don't think we were necessarily supposed to. I think we were supposed to see Iris's connection to those people, which
you meant to see Iris. You meant to see these people opening up. Well, Iris
that's what I took away from it. Yeah,
I think that was the whole point.
But you're right. We didn't know about those people. And I had another question. Was Central City the only place that Eva was capturing people? If so, that's a very specific location. Like, was she doing it all over the world or just in Central City? Because it makes me wonder, like, if it's all over the world, then isn't it a little weird that this all kind of revolves around this group in Central City? So just my thought. The show takes place in Central City. I get it. Don't come for me. I'm just talking about it. I'm just saying it. But I actually thought Iris, for me, was extremely good this week. I don't have really anything negative to say about Iris as a character. Yes, I thought some of the dialogue between her and Barry was cheesy in moments, but I thought this is the best Iris episode we've had in a really long time. I think
since
she was
Iris Run, or
yes, since that one. It was well written. Everything in it made sense. She felt like she had a proper storyline outside of the Team Flash, as well as stuff with Team Flash. I have almost zero complaints about Iris, other than the group stuff between her and the team with the love stuff. But outside of that, I think it was really strong. And this is what I've wanted from Iris all along. And I hope this isn't like last season, where we got like a really good Iris episode and then they just take it away from us. Because I think we had really good momentum with Iris and Team Citizen early on, and they snatched it away from us with this mirror storyline, and then she was gone for like half the season. So I don't want to see that happen. I don't think it will this season. I don't know. What were your thoughts on Iris in this episode? Because I quite enjoyed it. I thought Candace did a great job this week. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I really liked her. I think she had some very strong moments. I still don't 100% buy this Citizen stuff. Like, when she made Allegra a staff writer,
I thought
feel
that was
like
a little
they're
weird.
just, I feel like they're just friends, and they never make a big deal out of the journalism stuff. Yes, they bring it up every once in a while, but it doesn't feel like a real thing. It feels like a thing that Iris does, like a kind of hobby or something, more so than like a job. So when she's always saying, yes, boss, yes, boss, yes, boss, I'm like, do I buy it? I don't know.
Do you think that was meant to be sort of self-aware? Like, do you think that's why they did that, or no? Like, do you think so you think that they generally were insinuating that they always talk like that, like outside of us watching them, right? That was the impression. Yeah. So that was weird to you. But do you think that if we're going to continue with that type of narrative, shouldn't this storyline be important every time Iris is around? Like,
it should be more important. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they make it more important, you see more of Iris doing this, that's going to make it better and more believable. But they just haven't done that.
Okay. What about you, Paige? What are your general thoughts on Iris this week? Because I know we're always very critical of her, so I want to know what you think about her.
Yeah, one of the strongest episodes Iris actually had, especially in regards to character development as a whole in a single episode. Like, I can't remember an episode previously we've had, in like one single episode, we've had more Iris development. And And they played Desiree song at the end, so you can't beat that. Big question though, Eric. This is a very important question, and I don't know whether you're up for answering it because would you have preferred life or are you happy with You Gotta Be?
You Gotta Be. I love that song.
I agree with that. I was thinking, would life work here? But then I was thinking, You Gotta Be hits hard.
It does,
and it went well. Look, to be honest, All Star by Smash Mouth would have been okay there as well. Or Teenage Dirtbag. However, I'll do. You can't diss Desiree too much. Always goes off pretty well.
We'll say Iris though, 2 thumbs up this week, and they changed their style up a little bit. They were doing like jackets and like the trench coat and stuff. I loved all of it. I think, and her haircut was really cool. So there we go.
Would you prefer sumo suits or?
No, it's just normally she doesn't really dress. Like I felt like it was very business attire, which is she doesn't normally wear that kind of stuff. So
would you be for an episode where everyone just wears sumo suits?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, why not? Is that? Can you actually? Are those a real thing? Is that a series? Like I'm thinking I've seen something like that before. Like maybe they're on videos on YouTube or something.
A sumo suit?
Yeah, the blow up suits, like the big blow up suits or whatever.
Yeah. You can buy them.
Oh, they're like the ones like the dinosaurs, like the T-Rex suits, right? I mean, aren't they?
No, you just have like sumo wars.
No, but I mean they have like a pump in them that blows them up like the dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, I think they have a pump in them. Like some of them, maybe they're that's a bit of a flex. Do you want the flex sumo suits? Inbuilt pumper.
Oh, okay, got it. So Lone Wolf here with the $2 super chat. Maybe. The Sage Force enhances intelligence of its conduits to super genius levels, as well as granting them psychic powers such as telepathy and telekinesis. Now we're gonna see this soon, right? Are we getting a character introduced with the Sage Force very soon?
Yeah,
soon.
So get ready for it. Multi-topic talk. Is it me or we didn't get Black Lightning? Black Lightning is on break. We still got a little bit before Black Lightning comes back. And I'm not really sure why it went on break. I don't think there was a reason given. But when it comes back, we're getting the painkiller.
I'll tell you what, though.
Also, the Flashes on break.
Yeah, with the Flashes break, they're not going to end till end of July or something. Yeah. If they go on another break, they could potentially go another week or two break. It'll be August before the Flash ends.
But you know what's crazy is even with these shows going on break, we still have shows to talk about. Like there's never a point where we don't have a show on. It's really kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like Superman.
Oh Jesus! There's going to be like a few weeks where Supergirl's the only show.
Oh,
I'm sorry for that 3 or 4 very depressing week period.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to the viewers in advance.
Cody,
it might just be Ben. Me and Eric might hang out backstage. It might just be Ben.
Yeah, we'll put
I'm
Ben
take
on
over the after party on those weeks. I'm in charge. There you go.
So he'll be in charge of that. Cody with a $5 super chat. I think Frost is finally going to pay for the sins of Savitar. So you think that's going to be the driving thing, guys? Do you think the Savitar stuff is going to be the big stuff because that's the most well known, or do you think it's going to be something else?
They're actually going to reference it?
It would be the Amulet Black.
Yeah, there's more recent stuff, more likely, right?
Well, the Amulet Black stuff would have been known.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. Lynn's here with a $5 super chat. Do you think the police brutality story Eric was talking about is related to Frost? I thought he said it was going to be about Joe, but it could have something to do with.
And
Frost.
Also, they didn't say police brutality.
Yeah, they didn't specifically say that.
That was never said. It was just said it was going to be focused on the CCPD related to current events. Yeah. I think most of us, and I think even Eric Wallace might have alluded to this. It was like abuse of power.
And is that why they're bringing in that new character? Because they had that really long bit in the synopsis for like next week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they also set her up this week, I think, in the episode that just went past. I think Joe talks about it.
Lone Wolf here, $2 super chat. What if Wally comes back with the Sage Force? That would make people angry, though, right?
It wouldn't make sense either.
He came back with Sage Force and he wasn't Kid Flash. Ugh. I don't know about that one. Multi-topic talk. Do you think Cisco? No, Cisco's going to be Mecha vibe. I don't think he'll get his
Mecha vibe.
It's, by the way, which is a weird. Like I didn't think it was a bad name, but I'm like that's kind of a weird.
I think it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, this kind of like establishes that he's not going to actually get meta powers back. That he's going to be a tech person, kind of like an Iron Man type character, I guess, for the team.
Well,
I'm just happy he has this suit.
Is it a possibility that Eric Wallace knew this episode would air the week of Kong vs. Godzilla, where Mecha Godzilla is in it? Is that? Are we connecting the dots, Eric Wallace?
I think so.
Your drift.
They are definitely advertising across the streams there. So, by the way, are we going to do a review of that movie on Friday? Because it comes out Thursday, right? No, that's next week, right? Isn't it next
We
week?
don't get
in
it in the UK till like ages.
I might,
Really?
I might go see it this afternoon. Apparently, it's really good.
I want to see it, but I can't see it.
When do you think Barry finds out about the other forces? I think very soon. I don't think it's going to take very long. I think he's going to have an idea that something's
I think it's
going
going to be literally next week.
Yeah, because I mean, after what happened with yeah,
Ben knows this. I haven't told Eric yet. So for once, Ben got told before I told Eric.
what?
And I said it in my trailer breakdown. So technically, I told everyone that watched that video before Ben. So sorry, Ben, but and sorry, Eric.
I haven't watched any trailer breakdowns, but go ahead.
Say that again.
I haven't watched anyone's trailer breakdowns. So
okay. Ahead. I thought you said I don't watch your trailer breakdowns. Then
no, I haven't watched them yet.
Then there would have been drama. Then there would have been some. Hold on.
I was working on my Superman and Lois review today, so I didn't have a chance to watch anybody's reviews. So
okay, yeah, good save there, Eric. Good save. I might have to play this stream back on replay and see what you said the first time because I don't trust you. But oh yeah, I thought I was gonna continue talking about Mechagodzilla for some reason. Nora Allen, as in Barry's mother, is meant to be in this week's upcoming the upcoming episode 5. So whether that's a flashback, whether that's she's the Speed Force entity thing again, we will wait and see. Are we gonna do Paige's pick this week? I've got one sitting here.
Yeah, we'll do one
long.
As soon as we're done with this Flash stuff, we'll do it.
Where is it?
Sean Eck here with a 199 super chat. No Tom Cavanaugh on the opening credits. He's gone.
Yeah, apparently.
I was surprised people do people not realize why he's not there?
I haven't thought much about it. What's the reason?
I'll give you 10. I'll give you 5 seconds to try and figure it out.
Why he's not in the credits?
3, 2.
Because they cut him out?
No. Am I the only one with a brain?
I haven't thought about it, so I don't.
Who died?
What?
Who died? Who died in episode 1?
Wells?
Yeah.
Which Wells?
Nash Wells.
Oh, it was
Who was
Nash
in the credits?
promo.
He was in the opening credits.
Oh, so they're gonna redo
Wells are they
it
gonna
like
put there?
when Wells comes back or something.
Yeah, what Wells are they going to put there? They can't put a Wells in there because there's no current Wells on the show.
Oh yeah, I don't think people. I didn't even think that deep about it. Like I was just okay. So.
Eric, you'll nitpick that someone didn't cut their toenails for an episode, but you don't pick up on that
because I don't really pay attention to the
straight.
Opening credits. Usually, I don't. There are certain. I pay attention to the show. The credits to I. To be honest, when I'm watching stuff back on streaming or whatever, I just skip the credits altogether. I don't even watch the credits. So. There we go.
Arrowverse came.
Am I the only one who thought Tom Cavanaugh was missing? So here's the thing. I didn't have time to really process that he wasn't there. But Tom has been out of episodes before. Like he's had episodes where he hasn't been there.
Remember season 2? Well, we went without Harry for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think he came because he wasn't. Well, maybe like episode 3 or 4, maybe. We had a Wells for the first, two out of the first 3 episodes. So I'm sure we can go a few more. And we know he's still filming. So
and another thing is people are saying, why not the OG Harrison? Because I think if they include him in the credits, that's acknowledging that he's going to be around. And I don't think they want to spoil that. So, all right, we are at the point where we can do Paige's pick. You said you have one. So
yeah, it's just a recommendation. Okay. So when did I watch this? Saturday evening, I think it was. I watched The Last Blockbuster on Netflix. Have any of you watched it?
No.
Watch it. Okay. I know Ben might be a bit too young for it. Did you ever go to Blockbuster?
Of course. Like they were still around and like I used to go. So don't say I'm that young.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if they were like when they were on their way out that you might have.
I had one literally down my road that I used to go to.
This question.
So you would have gone there when you were like 5 or 6 years old.
This question. Look at this question.
Like 9.
It is
8.
so accurate.
Does it include?
Actually,
murder?
I think it was like 11 or something. I don't know when they shut.
Yeah, I can't remember. No, it was just interesting to watch it because it tells a story about the journey to the last Blockbuster and the last one left in somewhere in America. And it made me go through the flashbacks. I'm sure Eric lived through the entire era of it. when
I remember when
first came
Blockbuster
about.
opened. I was alive when it opened up. So I mean,
Really?
yeah.
And like the heyday of it and stuff. Like I went through a bit of the heyday of it, and then like it sort of started to die in Australia, like toward like around 2009, 2010, something like that. But I remember going to Blockbuster all the time, and that's like you go there on a Friday night. My mom would take us, and you'd get one movie each, sometimes two, if there was a deal. So if you went on a Tuesday, you got two new releases with one of them 50% off or something like that. That was the go.
Yeah. I think I was like 12 years old when it opened. So
really,
yeah.
I think I was like 13, 14 when they shut down.
Well, it says they were around till 2013.
Okay, so it would have been
there
like
was
13.
one when I lived up in Queensland. There was one near me, and it was one of the last ones in Australia to be opened. But I never went in it. I drove past it, and one day it was opened. The next day it was closed, sign and all. It was just a yellow building left. And I was like, that was quick. Or did I fall asleep for a week or something? But
yeah,
they just go. But yeah,
it was around when VHS was invented.
Yeah, wait. I know I meme it. Shrek on VHS. I used to watch it all the time.
I was live when hieroglyphics were invented. So,
I can tell you when I was about 6, 7 years old, 7, 8, because I had my sister who was about 3 years younger than me. I can actually recite off my head the VHS tapes we had. Shrek, one of the Toy Stories. I'm sure Ben knows them. Eric might. S Club 7.
Mm-hmm.
When they had their Ben doesn't know them, but they had their show, and it was like a Nickelodeon show. It was like S Club 7 in Miami, and then S Club 7 in Los Angeles or something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Now I think about a stupid show, but I had the VHS of it. I think my sister had Bananas in Pajamas VHS.
Yeah,
and man, and I remember going to Blockbuster, and I can't remember how many times I rented out School of Rock. What was the other one? Oh, like Happy Gilmore and like Big Daddy, all the Adam Sandler movies. Man,
I just remember on VHS watching all the Power Rangers stuff from the like late 90s and stuff, because I'm like at the end of VHS.
I promised getting that Power Rangers photo of myself, didn't I, once?
All right, so Paige's pick is a recommendation to watch. What is the name of it again? The last Blockbuster.
I have heard of
Netflix.
the film though.
It's on Netflix, yeah. So for some reason they got a stupid picture of Kevin Smith. He pulls those stupid faces where you want to slap him,
like the reaction videos that you hate on YouTube.
He's pulling one of those stupid faces, and you're like, why do they pick that as the photo? But yeah, it's Kevin Smith pulling a stupid photo.
So go watch it. Maybe we'll talk about it like when
he always takes those crying photos.
I don't know what his go is, but anyway.
So this is interesting. I talked about this a little bit on Twitter, not so much the Cruella stuff because I wasn't sure how they were going to release that anyway. But I said months ago that Black Widow would definitely come out on VOD when it got released because they weren't going to continue to push it back. And
yeah, I am surprised they pushed it back again, but it's just because they want as many theaters open as they possibly can.
And I think so. Here's the thing: in America right now, theater chains are already reopening because our vaccination is reaching like the 20% mark, and so they're starting to prepare for reopening. So I think pushing it back will guarantee that it will pull money in that window during that period of time, because I think enough people will be vaccinated that they'll feel more comfortable going out. But I also believe that the VOD thing was a no-brainer. I mean, I said it and they're like, oh no, they won't do it. And I'm like, yes, they will. And so they eventually did it. So any thoughts on this? I think it's a good move from them because I think a dual release, at least until the end of the year, is probably the best thing for any movie that's coming out.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they're going for the Disney Plus stuff because they're obviously very happy with it. I'm just surprised that they pushed it back. Like I would understand like pushing it back like a month. How long did they push it back?
July. So it went from May to July.
Months.
Yeah.
2 months. And I don't see why they didn't do it a month. I get that more people feel, more people will be vaccinated and they can go in America and different places. But really right now with America opening up their cinemas bit by bit, by May, they're already going to have like over half their cinemas open. And
it's
then
already been
around the
established
world,
that by May
we're
we
gonna
will
have ours soon.
we'll be able to vaccinate everyone. Like everybody will be able to go out and get a vaccination by May. So
yeah. So I don't see why they didn't just do it in June and just have it right there.
Are there other movies coming out in June they didn't want to compete with? Is that what it is? Or
maybe. I'm not sure.
Bond?
Not sure.
No, I think that got delayed till November.
So here's the thing: $30 to watch it on Disney Plus. I want to address this because I agree and disagree with this because I think it's a value issue. So if you have like 5 friends that you're going to watch the movie with, and you split this movie up 5 ways, $30 isn't that big a deal, and it's less than you'd spend going out to the theater. But if you were one person watching it by yourself, I think $30 is too steep.
It's way too much.
I don't think it's I feel like a $20 range would make more sense for these. And I don't know why Disney is like dead set on charging $10 more than everybody else, especially for a service that you already pay for.
Yeah.
I think that's just a little bit crazy. I think HBO Max has the right idea. They're releasing their movies as part of their service. I think that's awesome. I don't know how much money that's going to cost them in the long run because we're not getting actual numbers. They might go, oh, it's the most watched thing ever. Disney and HBO Max have both done this, but there's no actual numbers released. So we don't know for sure. So I would say for me, if this were $20, I could be like, I'm on board for everybody. Because I feel like if you go to a movie, at least in America, a ticket is like $15. And then if you buy like a popcorn, you're spending more than $20. So I feel like $20 is good for one person. $30, I cannot justify for one person. If you're going to have multiple people watching it, maybe, but not for one person.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. No, I completely agree. Sorry,
someone was asking about whether there was a murder in a blockbuster. I can confirm there was none.
Okay.
However, I did find a new series to watch called Murderers and Their Mothers. So let's see how that show goes.
That's another Paige's pick.
Yeah, Murderers and Their Mothers.
Yeah.
I don't know if the mothers are murderers or it's just conversations with the murderers and their mothers who are not murderers. But I'll give that. Do you want me? Should that be Paige's pick next week?
Yeah, why not? We'll do that next week.
Okay, let me note that in. Murderers and Their Mothers.
We'll replace the Supergirl review with that. So that's what
Trust me, it'll be 10 times better.
Superman and Lois spoilers. We are in spoiler territory. So this week's episode of Superman and Lois was titled the Best of Smallville, and it's episode 5. And I mean, this episode was good to me. It probably wasn't my favorite of the season so far. Some people have said it is their favorite of the season. I think it was just another solid episode. We did get some pretty big reveals in it. And I think the Captain Luther stuff was really strong.
Yeah.
And why don't we go ahead and start talking about the first thing I have in my notes here. And that is the Derek Powell stuff, the stuff that we learned about him and how it ties into Leslie Larr and Lois Lane. All the stories are starting to, if you notice, they're all sort of like piling on top of each other now. Everything is starting to come together kind of beautifully in a way with the kids and with the stuff going on with Lois and stuff going on with Clark. It's all kind of coming together. So Sharon, we know she was the woman that came in and gave Lois all the information they needed to write this huge article on Morgan Edge because her son disappeared. And then we meet him this week and her story's changed. She doesn't want to write a story anymore. Even though somebody was coming after her and trying to murder her, she decided, I don't want to contribute anymore. And so they feel like it was something, sort of orchestrated by Morgan Edge or their lawyers or whatever in this situation. And so this kind of spurs the story where, Derek has powers. Chrissy follows him in her best Chloe style, saying she was embodying Lois to this facility and everything. And we find out that they have like this machine that is actually giving people powers. And so Derek is getting powers that way. What did you think about this whole story with Lois and Derek and all of this? Did you enjoy this part of the episode? Because this was probably my favorite part of the episode, honestly.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's nothing really I had too much of an issue with. But yeah, it just sort of gave us sort of like maybe a look at like one side of the spectrum in regards to the use of X-Kryptonite. And I'm excited, I guess, but interested to see where Tag Harris is. Like, where is that in the spectrum? Are those his abilities? Is he just a speedster, or does it develop like how Superman's powers did, where he didn't fly straight away? He was fast and maybe a bit of strength, and then he got stronger and stuff. So I'm intrigued to see where that goes and whether there's actually a proper development stage and whether Tag is maybe the first person who doesn't combust and die. And Derek was one of the people that actually lived long enough, but it was just too much and they couldn't, hold it together. So I'm interested to see where it goes in general, but I'm sure there's still 10 episodes to go, so I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, no, I really liked this part. I thought it was very good. Obviously, it acted as a way to basically it's going to be like a big red flag. They know, Superman knows Leslie Law is they're doing something. They've got this object that they talk about, like he says protect the entity or something. I forgot what it was. Anyway, so they know about this, and they know that Morgan Edge is planning something, and he's creating Kryptonians, I think
he said protect the asset, right? Wasn't that what he used? Asset? Yeah.
Asset. So, the ex-Kryptonite or whatever it is, like, so I really liked how that all kind of tied up, and you definitely know they're going to be going after Morgan Edge, and it feels like Morgan Edge is going to be like the main overall villain this season. And he's got like Leslie working for him, and he's got his army that is coming. And you're right, I really liked what we saw with Lex, which kind of tied into that as well, because you have
everything is tying together now, which is what I love about this. It's hard to break up what happened this week because it all sort of intersects with each other, which I think is really cool. My biggest question is, with the powers now, are they addictive? Because it felt like it was an addictive thing, the way that Derek was acting, like he was almost like he was going through withdrawals. Or do you think that was just because he needed to recharge his powers? What do you think? Like, how do you think that works? Because I don't think the powers are permanent. I think they're temporary based on what we saw.
I think it's the ex-Kryptonite is like putting an uncharged battery within you, and then that pod that Morgan found at the beginning of last episode, which changed colors. I don't know. It was like red last episode, but now it's like orange. But that is like the actual charger.
Okay.
Now, whether you actually need that if the ex-Kryptonite works properly, or if it's developed properly, or at least how they administer it on people, whether that changes going forward, you don't necessarily need that pod outside of the first, like, I don't know, like transfiguration, what do you want to call it, where they change it?
Yeah.
I guess is another question, but it just seems it just powers you. It's almost like a life force,
right?
If that makes sense. And that's probably why Derek was sort of skitzing out and freaking out.
So, I have so many theories about what this is going to mean for the kids and everything moving forward. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But I will say this, that I think that this is a really good storyline. I'm enjoying it. I think that it makes sense. And I can't wait to see, because eventually Leslie Laura is going to have to fight against Superman, obviously, at some point. So we'll get to see that. And I don't know how that's going to go down.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, that's the big question. Is she a person that was done by ex-Kryptonite, or is she actually an alien?
Yeah, we don't know yet.
So that's the big question, because is she the gold standard in regards to it, and they're trying to replicate what happened to her, or is she just someone that has these powers that can control the people that get them?
Right. Curious what the chat thinks, guys. Leave some of your theories down in the chat. Multi-topic talk with a $2 super chat. When is the Superman and Lois break? Right now.
Right now.
It literally started
day one.
Yeah,
day one.
We've got.
And the best show is coming instead.
Oh wow, is that a flex for Supergirl?
Okay, well, can someone note down that? Okay, that was an hour 13 and about 10 seconds. We can put that in the top 10 cringe Ben moments.
Oh Jesus!
What the hell was that? Explain yourself.
He's happy because Supergirl's coming
was
back.
Was that a teaser of the X Factor audition?
Oh, maybe.
You got a bit harmonic there, Ben. I was like,
maybe.
Lone Wolf, the $2 super chat. So somebody here called it Lex was married to Lois. Now, I do remember somebody saying this last week. This is kind of the bombshell we got. Let's go ahead and talk about this a bit. So we get the Captain Luthor thing where he's pretending to be a investigative reporter for was it? Well, I was going to say something else, but
he's a reporter.
Yeah, he's a reporter for what is it? Routers? How do you pronounce that? Routers. Anyway, I see it all the time.
Wait, rewind.
Right.
What for? Like, as in like an internet router?
No, like the website. Right?
Routers. Yeah.
Routers?
Is it routers or routers? I don't know which one it is.
Hold on, this is hilarious because of all the different accents.
Yes, it is. That's why, because cicada. I'm not sure how people are saying it.
What's it called? Routers.com.
I know what it is. I don't know how to pronounce it out loud. I've never
I
heard
would
it said.
say.
I honestly have never heard it said out loud until this week.
I would normally say router, but
hold on. Type in routers.com.
It's not spelled like that.
Well, then Ben spells it. So how's it spelled?
It's something like that, right?
Go routers.com.
It could be rudders.
It looks like it's from
Is it
the
rudders?
80s.
Is it rudders?
If it's
I
like a
definitely
boat
know it.
Rutters.
Routers, routers, rudders. It's one of those. It's one of those. I don't even think it doesn't matter. It's a funny moment. It doesn't matter. He's pretending to be a reporter, right?
Rudders. Rudders as food.
Yes.
Hold on.
We don't have that here, so I don't even know.
They have some good deals.
Well, we're not talking about that. So we're talking about
hold on. This is very important.
Oh, well, what deals are so important that we have to sidetrack the conversation?
Just can you stop complaining? Here. Share my screen.
Oh gosh. What?
Okay, we have this is rudders.
It's not spelled like that. It's not spelled like that.
This is apparently where Captain Luthor is pretending to work from. Rudders, why go anywhere else? So we have tornadoes.
He doesn't work for a food place. He's a reporter.
But is this a good deal?
I don't even know I don't know what tornadoes are, so I have no idea.
Tornadoes? You mean tornadoes? Ooh, tornadoes. Hold on. Menu. Adult beverages. Okay.
Adult beverages? Beverages?
Yeah. What's this?
A break fast. What is break fast? Break fast.
Hold
break
on.
Fast.
Ooh. Wait, here, West Virginia.
Yeah, we don't have them
Eric's
here. I don't live anywhere near West Virginia, by the way.
You don't?
Yeah, but you're in Virginia
West Virginia
somewhere.
West Virginia is like 7 hours away from me.
Well, that's worth the trip.
Absolutely.
Why go anywhere else?
Absolutely.
Why go anywhere else?
So Captain Luthor working for Rudders, Routers, Routers, however you want to pronounce it, from whatever part of the world you're in. He's an investigative reporter. Do we figure out how to spell it? Was that a serious question? I thought you were joking. I will pull it up here so you can see.
It's spelled like an internet router. Right?
If I went that, and the website looks like it's from the 1990s.
This is what it is. Let me show you. I'm going to share it because I actually thought you were trying to troll me by asking me how it was spelled. This is it right here. This is where he says he works at.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, That's not how you spell internet router, you idiots.
We didn't say
we didn't say that. We said it's similar.
Similar, as in similar, you mean spelt differently?
No, I meant pronounced similarly. I didn't know you were asking me legitimately how to spell it. So it's either routers, rudders, or rooters. I don't know how you actually say it.
And you wonder why the World War III is upon us. You wonder because no one can communicate properly.
Exactly. Okay, back. Let's come back on the track.
We've wasted 4 minutes.
Yes, Captain Luthor.
Nice.
So, cicada, tomato, break fast, breakfast, however you want to say things.
Break fast.
Reuters. Apparently, it's Reuters.
That's what I said. It's one of the three pronunciations.
Reuters.
That's not going to help you in life.
I will never say that out loud again. Except
he didn't say that in the show. I swear he said something different. I don't know.
Maybe he did. I don't know.
He definitely didn't say Reuters.
It is completely irrelevant. I don't know why we're still talking about it. It's completely irrelevant because that was what they said in the show, and I was trying to clarify a pronunciation. It literally doesn't matter.
So it's the show's fault.
Their fault? How? It's irrelevant to his story.
They started the conversation by having it in their show.
Yes, maybe. I guess. I don't know. I don't care, really. So we find out that Captain Luthor knows that Lois has a connection to Kal-El. And he somehow hasn't connected the dots that Clark and Kal-El are the same person yet. I think by the end of the episode, maybe he's figured it out. I would hope he has. But we also get a flashback to see that he was actually in a relationship with Lois. Now, I didn't see that coming at all. And this is what I love about the shows is when they surprise me with this stuff. Now, somebody did mention it, but I thought I'm like, no, they're not going to do that, right? They're not going to do that. But then they ended up doing it. How do you guys feel about this? Do you think this is a bad love triangle situation, or do you think this is going to make the story better? I'm not sure if it makes it better or worse. I'm not sure how I feel about it, honestly. Now that we've actually
I feel like it's a good twist. Like, I did not expect it, like you said, but at the same time, I feel like what the vibes I was kind of getting after that was like, is he jealous as well as like wanting to stop Superman? So I don't know how it's gonna play out, but I was like, weird vibes. Weird vibes.
So, Paige, you love shipping in shows. So what do you think about this love triangle that we have going on here?
I think it depends what happened between Clark or just the Kal-El, what do you want to call it, on that Earth, and Lois. Were they together before, or were they never a thing?
Oh,
because Captain Luther says, like, there's one thing I know: wherever Lois Lane goes, Superman follows. So that insinuates either that on his Earth they were together, or for some reason Superman's a mad stalker.
What if on his Earth they were close, like they were like in terms of like Superman and Clark were, or I mean Lois and Clark
and
were.
he finds out.
Right. What if there was like a love thing going on with Kal-El and Lois, and Lois was with Captain Luthor, and that's kind of his driving force here. What if that was the whole thing? What if that's what's going on here?
That would be very CW.
It would be, and I'm hoping they're not going to do that. I really don't want that. I want it to be a connective story, but I don't want it to be that. I know I don't want it to be that. I think he's going to resent Clark for this, though, because she's there, and he probably wants her back. So I know for sure. I'm hoping that he connects the dots on Clark being Kal-El, though. I really feel like he's that smart, because he converted this van, this mobile home thing,
like
this trailer, into like a tech place with all these weapons in it and everything. Now, some people were complaining that when he shot at Superman and Derek, that Superman and Derek did not, or that Superman didn't go looking for who shot him. Was that addressed in the episode or not? So basically, Superman was like, "Oh, I just got shot. Let me just fly away."
He was like, "Sure."
Do you think that's going to be in the extended episode? Like, is it going to be a scene missing from?
I don't think there isn't. I think the episode's only 41 minutes. So
somebody hit me with like this weird like rocket launcher thing, and I'm not going to even go looking for them. I mean, I think that's a little strange. I agree with that. I think that's a little bit off there. Anyway, I like this version of Lex Luthor or Alexander Luthor or whoever he ends up being. So we'll have to see where it goes. Naruto with $5 super chat. Watched your review, Erica. You forgot to talk about Tag showing up and screaming at Jordan. What did you do to me? So I didn't dive into it because I wanted to talk about it here. We talked about the boys and the stabilization of the powers. What if Pagey's right and Tag ends up being able to control or retain his powers, being a speedster or whatever, because of what happened? Do you think that's going to make the kids a target of this program because they're going to try and figure out a way to make these powers permanent in some of these kids?
Like kidnap, or like in, I don't know, have you seen Young Justice when the Reach kidnap like something like that?
I'm wondering if they're going to do, if General Lane in this program are going to think of doing that with Jordan because of Tag being the only person that has retained their powers so far. Do you think that's a possibility? Would you be down for something like that, or no? You think it would go that dark? Do you think the show's going to go that direction? Because that's a pretty dark thing to do.
I don't know. I think if they prefer, they just maybe kept it Morgan Edge related for now, at least, until I see. Because I still don't know. We still don't know what happened with Tag, like the extent with what's happening with Tag Harris,
right? And what he's doing out. Like, what is he doing out?
Like,
why does he look like he's from X-Men First Class as well?
That's true. I thought about that when I saw it. I said, why is he wearing an X-Men suit? Because we kind of joked that they're sending him off to Xavier school, and then he comes back wearing a suit that looks like the X-Men suit.
Yeah.
It
had a logo on there. I didn't get to see. I didn't get to see the logo. Actually, I might actually bring it up.
We got plenty of time to talk about it. We got weeks and weeks to theorize about Superman and Lois now until they come back. Multi-topic talk. Is Supergirl getting the same time spot as Super? Yes. Yeah, it'll be on right after the Flash every week. So there we go. Ben, did you really write routers in the chat like that?
Well, here's the big question.
I it roughly.
Can we get a vote in the chat? Do you want routers, rutters, or Reuters? Which is your which do you choose?
Or
routers, rutters, or Reuters?
Or routers. Like we need 4. We got 4 choices.
Or routers. Yeah, we're chucking the fourth wild card there.
So Joe
Reuters.
says it's routers, like.
But it's
router,
not.
like,
We figured out it's Reuters.
Yeah.
It's Reuters, apparently. But I swear he didn't say it, though, in the episode.
Thank you, Gamerman X9000.
Look, to me personally, because of the deal with the 2 for 250 tornadoes, I'm going rudders.
You mean the tornadoes?
Well, the tornadoes, if we're for some reason
the tornado twins from the Flash.
If we're from East Virginia.
Wait a minute. Confirmed tornado twins. They're giving you 2 for 2 of the tornadoes. What if that's
Hold on. It's 2 for 250. And they're tornado twins. Tornado twins confirmed the 250th episode of The Flash.
Okay, there we go.
Wait, it's coming. What's your name? We got this covered. I saw one of the authors here. Ben's a Screen Rant article. There is just as bad. You might as well go do an article there.
Oh,
Ben.
okay, there you go.
I think I saw Cosmic Book. I think I saw. Yeah, Emma, I'm with you. Rudders. Emma Lopez, Rudders. Anyone else got Rudders?
Yeah,
just me and Emma.
I go.
Well, it's 2 for 250. We'll get one each.
Mm-hmm.
Gary here says, "How do you think they resolve painkillers?" I don't know what the rest of that is. I think painkillers episode is going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to it. So Naruto here says this was like a while back. It's Reuters, like Roy Harper. So
I'm going not rudders. It wins. It wins.
So let's talk a bit about the boys in this week's episode before we wrap this up. This was the one thing that I just didn't really care about. I mean, I know they have to have a storyline, but I felt like it took up so much time of the episode. And the only thing that I really got out of it was the stuff with Jonathan, because I think that's the most important aspect, because I think he's starting to really feel the struggles of being in Smallville. Do you think he's going to go back to Metropolis or no?
Well, in the trailer for next week, it looks like he's training Jordan. So it's like Jordan becoming Superboy, and Jonathan's going to be the normal noob.
How would you feel? Like I feel like Jonathan has to get powers. It just seems really weird that he doesn't have powers. I have some theories that if he doesn't get them the way that we've assumed, that it's going to be something connected to Morgan Edge and that whole program. That's what I think. But I'll save that for a whole separate video. I have to sit down and think about my theories on that. But it seems like Jonathan is not happy. He's not happy at all in Smallville. And, he was a star in Metropolis, and now he's a benched player in Smallville, and he's not a popular kid, and he's out making bad decisions with his brother and stuff. And he ruined the date between Sarah and Jordan, which I thought was just awesome.
Talk about a chicken block.
That was awful. Like he really I thought for a second, I'm like, he's not going to do this, right? And then it just got worse and worse and worse, and then it just
he's just your typical asshole American.
Yeah. So I quite enjoyed this episode. So for me, I thought it was a pretty good one. It wasn't my favorite, but I think it was really solid, and it sets up like a bunch of stuff for the rest of the season. But we are on break. May 18th is when Superman and Lois comes back. So if you have not caught up with the show, it is your opportunity to do so now. By the way, they advertise you can go catch up on Batwoman too if you haven't. It's all over on the CW.com.
They always do that every week. It's like the same Batwoman promo.
I really feel like they're insinuating something. Like there's not enough people watching, so go watch us now on the CW app. So really strange. Okay, so here we go. We are moving into Would You Rather territory, and I know I don't ever have any because I just like to answer them. So this is what we're going to go with.
Probably has.
Well, actually, I thought we'd change it up this week.
Okay.
Have you two got your brains switched on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
How about 5 general knowledge questions?
Ooh.
Okay, we'll do that. But let's answer this one first.
Okay.
Multi-topic talk. $5. Would you rather watch the live action X-Men movies or Batwoman season 1? Live action
X-Men movies.
I'm not a big fan of them, but I would much rather watch them.
I like some of them, so it would be good enough.
If you picked specific ones, it would probably be easier, but it just in general. Would you rather watch the X-Men movies or Arrow season 4 X-Men movies?
X-Men movies, oh my god.
Yeah. 100%. So before we dive into that, Ben, I'm going to ask you about this because I don't really know what this is about, but I've seen several people ask, what is the Supercore drama? Like, what is the drama with that? Because I can't discuss it if I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I
think he's just talking about it in general. I don't think it's anything new.
I
Oh.
think they're just talking about it because it's like the final season and they're expecting something to happen when, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
Okay, well, there we go. All right, so let's do this last call on super chats. If you guys want to ask questions, we'll answer the super chats between Paige's general trivia questions, I guess.
Do either of you have a notepad and or pen next to you?
I can get one.
Go, run, Ben. Run, sprint.
If this is asking how to pronounce stuff, I'm going to lose.
No, there's 5 questions here, and they're all general knowledge. There's 2 questions here that both of you should be able to answer easily. The other one's a bit of a bit more.
I'm not good on. I fail general trivia because I can never answer things on the spot like that. So just be prepared.
Yeah, I got mine.
Okay.
Oh, hold on, let me get mine.
5 questions.
I don't know where my big eraser is, so I have to use the one on the back of the pen. All right.
Wait, you using your whiteboard?
Yeah.
Epic.
Okay, ready? Are we ready for the first question?
Yeah. Is it multiple choice or is it just an answer?
No, there's no multiple choice. It's just an answer.
Okay.
Actually, for one of them, I'll give you a multiple choice. It's a bit difficult.
This is like your video again.
Yeah.
Oh, we had to write. All right.
Where you gave it the massive lead for some reason, and Eric came back and won.
Well, come on. I literally have 10 minutes, so let's do this.
Okay. What's the biggest animal in the world? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer. Write it down, sorry.
Already got it.
I'll wait till Ben's done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Reveal your answers. Oh, okay, chat. Can I give that to Ben? Eric's got the right answer, blue whale. Ben's just put whale.
Sorry, I didn't have time.
I'll give it. Sperm whale. No, blue whale.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you, Ben. There might be a controversial thing.
Controversy from this.
Okay. Question number 2. Which planet is closest to the sun? Eric's done. Waiting on Ben. Okay. You ready, Ben? Oh, you're still writing. I'll give you 5 more seconds.
Before we reveal, I'm going to change.
I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3.
I'm probably wrong.
2, 1. Okay, Ben's disqualified, I think.
I give up. Yeah.
Eric's right, Mercury. Did you write Mercury first?
Me?
Yeah.
No. Before you did it, I thought of what it was in my head.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering.
I had Venus first, but then I thought, no, Venus is the second one.
It's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
Yeah. And I realized that after I wrote it, and I'm glad that I was like, oh, wait, no, I'm going to change it. So
I totally blanked.
It's 2-1 Eric's way, okay? This is a difficult one. I'm very curious to see if any of you can get this. What was the most streamed show on Netflix in 2020? And I can give you the number of streams.
In 2020?
2020, so last year. It had 43 million streams.
Wait, is it a new show or a show that's rerunning?
It's a Netflix original. That's all I'll give you.
Oh, the most stream. Okay, so most streamed Netflix original last year.
Yeah. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
This 5, is probably wrong, but
4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal your answers.
I wrote 1, crossed it off, and then
was that Bridgerton?
Yeah.
Or both? Incorrect. Yeah. The answer was The Umbrella Academy season 2.
Yeah, because Bridgerton didn't come out until this year, but I couldn't think of anything from last year. So
yeah.
Umbrella
I knew it was wrong when I wrote it, but I was like, I don't.
I think a lot of people forgot about Umbrella Academy because it came out like at the beginning of COVID, I think.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking Tiger King as well, but then
I wrote Queen's Gambit, and then
Queen's Gambit's underrated. It's not the most watched. I think it's the one.
But also, that didn't come out until
like
October or something.
Numbers for that.
Yeah.
But it came out late, I think, because you get the entire year. So it's still 2-1 Eric's way.
All right.
What nut is in the middle of a Ferrero Rocher?
PG.
10, 9.
This
8,
is probably wrong, but
7, 6, 5. You both ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Reveal those answers. Almond. Oh, Ben's.
It's
two
not an
all.
almond.
It's a hazelnut for
It's
Ben.
not an
Ben's
almond.
correct. An
I knew
almond.
it.
I
How'd
don't
you get
eat.
that?
I don't
Why is
eat
there
that.
an
I don't eat
almond?
that, so I don't know.
Ben is correct. This is it. The final question, and I'm giving you multiple choice.
Okay.
So this will be interesting. To a single decimal point, how many kilometers in a mile? A, 1.5, B, 1.6, C, 1.7, or D, 1.8?
Wait, say it again. I'm lost.
1.5, 1.6,
No, but what's the
1.
question?
To a single decimal point, how many kilometers in a mile? So 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, or 1.8?
Yeah.
5.
Wait, we got to write letters. Okay, never mind.
3, 2,
I don't know the letter, but I'm going to write the number down.
1.
Okay.
Reveal your answers.
You made a guess. Yeah.
You both were 1.7, and you both are incorrect. The answer is 1.6.
I don't know.
1.6.
America doesn't use that unit of measurement, so I have no idea.
Yeah, we use miles.
I'm going to get one more random question here, and let's hope either of you can get it right. Oh, here we go. What does LGBTQ stand for?
You want me to write all that out?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna.
What does LGBTQ stand for? I'll give you about 15 seconds because it's a bit longer. Actually, I'll give you like I'll start the countdown when it's relevant. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Okay, here we go. Eric, reveal your answers.
Hopefully it's in the right order.
Wait.
Technically, Eric has got it the most correct.
What did he say?
He's got lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer/questioning. You just put queer when really technically Q 99 times out of 100 is questioning.
Ah.
I have to give it to Eric, and also I think I have to give a bit of leniency to Eric because he actually did put blue whale for the first question when he just put whale.
Come on.
That came back to bite you in the ass.
You forgot the color blue. So our winner for this week, hosting the after party, 2 from 2, but this time Ben sort of made a mini comeback at the end, so it's a bit of a flip. But
because I got the wrong ingredient in the core of the
sad face.
Yeah,
face with tear.
Yeah.
Maybe next week someone else can do the general questions or general knowledge questions, and I'll.
All right.
Actually, for the chat, let's do a quick question for the chat that they can answer. Who is the highest spiritual leader of Tibet? Any of you? The answer's easy.
Eric's reloaded.
Tibet, probably well, I don't want to say it out loud because the chat's answering. I think I know what it is though.
I'll give the chat like 5 more seconds because they've heard it by now. But
I mean, I'm not reading the chat. Is it?
I'm
waiting to see who the first person to type the answer is. Omega got it.
I think it's the Dalai Lama, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna run through these super chats and then I gotta get out of here. Multi-topic talk with a $5 super chat. Would you rather watch season 2 of Supergirl or live action X? If live action X-Men movies against any other bad stuff, I'd rather watch that. Just know that in advance. That's just me. What about you guys? Pretty much live action X-Men against anything.
Yeah, live action X-Men.
Supergirl season 2 and
you can't just simp it that
and
much.
Live action X-Men. Huh?
And same thing against the second part of that question. I Legend of Tomorrow.
What? No thong song?
No, definitely not.
Like
$2 super chat from Lone Wolf. Could Morgan and Lex team up towards the end? I think it's more like Lex will team up with the good guys, maybe, and Morgan will be the main bad guy with like a superpowered army. Because I think Lex hates bad supermen, and I think that's what Morgan is working towards. That's just my theory. Let's see. There was some other super chats here, if I could find them. Let me go to the YouTube section because it has dropped away from my screen. I want to make sure I get all the super chats. And we had, I think there was at least one more, maybe 2 more. Let's see.
Paige, they're asking you to sing it.
there's one more from
me see.
No. Joe here with the $5 super chat.
Baby.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. X-Men Origins Wolverine or Batwoman series. Wolverine movie or the first Wolverine movie or Batwoman.
I like the first Wolverine film. I like that.
So that would be your answer then, the first Wolverine?
Ooh, that girl's so scandalous.
What about you, Paigey? Batwoman, I guess season 1 or the Wolverine movie?
Which Wolverine movie?
The first Wolverine movie.
What, Origins?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other option?
Batwoman season 1.
Well, probably Origin because it's short.
Anytime it's a movie versus a TV
I think
show,
it could be freaking Game of Thrones or the best season of any show, and you'd be like, well, if I've already seen, I'll probably just watch the movie because it's shorter.
Wow, Omega here. I'd watch anything over those crappy live action X-Men movies. Wow. Crazy. All right, so that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope everybody had a great time. And go over and check out, I think all of our reviews are up. I believe everybody did their Superman and Lois review today. So I think Ben's is up and Paige's is up as well. And so is mine. So go check it out. And we will see you guys later on. That's pretty much it. Anything you guys want to add that's non-edgy or no?
Nope.
Ann Sarnoff is now my favorite Hollywood executive. I love that diss track she dropped the other day.
Okay, before we go, she has basically confirmed that there is no plans for anything after the Snyder Cut. And I think that's 100%
Thank the Lord.
I think that's going to stick. I don't think they are. There's a lot of reasons why. We're not going to get into those. But I will say that the fact that she said it out loud so quickly after the Snyder Cut came out was like crazy.
And then all these castings for the new movies are coming out at the same time as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty much. You know how everyone, there's a big banner that went released the Snyder Cut a few years ago?
Mm.
Yeah.
To end the stream, we're already demonetized, so fuck the Snyderverse.
All right, we're out of here. Bye.